When he arrived, he was stressed. It took him a while to work out where he was and how he was being treated. So he had angry moments. He was not used to humans being kind to him, so it took him a while to work out that was what was happening. Now he's in his jungle enclosure, so a better place with elephants around him, to kind humans and nature around him. So he's just he's a happy boy compared to where he came from. People always like a good news story, and when the world is in a dire situation as it is now, as it was then, a good news story gets better and better. And this is not just a story about Kaavan, it's a story about what we should be doing in the future. We need to treat animals as well as we would expect to be treated in their position, and that's put them in an environment where they're happy. So it really is as simple as that, and happiness is in a natural environment. I'm Pedro Vella. I'm from Australia. I've been at the Cambodia WildlIfe Sanctuary for just over 3 years, making sure the animals are looked after. So Kaavan is an Asian elephant. He's about 37 years old. He was born in Sri Lanka and given to Pakistan when I think he was 1 year old. So he's been in a zoo in Pakistan for that time until he was rescued and was brought here. They obviously had no idea how to care for him properly. So, I mean, like most zoos, they forced him to do things and they couldn't control him, so they chained him up. The conditions were terrible. His pond was green and slimy, he wasn't getting into proper diet, and he was just shackled the whole time because they couldn't control him. So yeah, it was just a horrible, horrible life. It's basically due to Dr. Samar Khan, who brought Kaavan's plight to the public eye, and it escalated from there. I think it was a 6-year battle, through the courts and petitions and everything, to finally get him free, and got him here. The work was huge. I mean, we've built a concrete enclosure, concrete secure enclosure, 16 acres, and a 14-acre steel fenced enclosure. And without the support of everyone, the small and large people, we wouldn't have been able to achieve it. It was just a never-ending work site. We just built and built and built until it was done, and now he has his jungle. The feeling of walking on jungle ground, trees growing, birds chirping, not a piece of human intervention in sight. It's quite simply is because our boundary isn't fenced. So we have 32,000 acres, there's a lot of fence to build if we wanted to do that. So that the elephants could, within a day or two, wander out of the sanctuary. And we're surrounded by a main highway, we're surrounded by farms, and if they go onto the road, there's trucks flying past, the animal could be hit. If they go into a farm, the farmer's within his rights to protect his land, so it's just not safe for them, the elephants or the humans, for them to wander around. So he's got his own area, we can wander freely without restraint. This is Kaavan's potatoes. That's his breakfast. And then we'll give him some chopped banana tree, and then he has a choice of going into the day enclosure, which he chooses on his own accord to go in, and he has more fresh variety. So there's bamboo trees, there's bushes that he hasn't tried before, there's a bit more grass. He's got the dams, which have muddy water, so he's got mud pits he can roll in, and just more freedom to roam around. Coming here at luncheon, we found him lying in the Ooh, like a mud pit. And he just having the time of his life. I've seen him in a mud pit before, but he's just lying around and he'll get up and walk away. But this time he's just like he's basically kneeling now, has a bit of a splash and then decides, I'm going to look again. You can see when we approach this, at the moment, Mut, his mahout, and myself are the only ones who have direct contact with him. But he's happy to follow us around, and he's happy to approach us and just greet us. Sometimes he's looking for food, sometimes he just wants to say hello. So he's content. He's happy just to be where he is at the moment, and it's just a joy to see that he's got trust, and joy to see that he's happy. You can't ask much more than giving an animal happiness. He's happy where he is. They have very similar emotions to humans. They recognise kindness, they recognise cruelty, they grieve when they lose someone, and they stress when they, in a stressful situation. So to see him get away from that, to see him actually be happy being where he is, not stressing what's going to happen next, where's my next meal coming from, what am I going to do, am I going to suffer tomorrow? He knows that he's going to be treated well, and his attitude shows that. There's no remorse, there's no anything, it's all just happy to be where he is. The difference between differences in captivity is a zoo, for example. A zoo is predominantly set up to make profits. So it's to entertain people, and most of the animals are crammed into unsuitable enclosures or cages just so that people can see them. So he's gone from that to 30 acres of jungle. And that's what a proper sanctuary can provide, as well as proper care, a proper diet. People shouldn't have to be told not to go to zoos, not to go to circuses. If you go to these places and then go to an ethical place, and you can see the difference. We need to put them into proper sanctuaries, put them into proper care, and give them a life worth living. We're getting messages from all over the world every day that have recognised what we've done, and obviously going to be supporting any other moves from any other rescued animals. So it's a worldwide movement, and we just need to keep up. It's not an easy process, but it's a process that can be achieved. Nothing's cheap, but it can be done, and we raised the money, and all their fighting has been worth it. Every ounce of sweat has been rewarded. Every cent has been rewarded because Kaavan is happy. So it's a job well done from a huge range of people. We've proved it can be done, so now we've got to repeat it worldwide. Empty the cages, simple as that.